Hi everybody, welcome to Faculty Promotion Training video number 5. This entire discussion for today will be specifically on the most important part of your entire instruction or your entire promotion binder, which is instruction. So we're going to go through each part specifically so that you can create the best one possible. So let's get started. Here is my folder, my paperwork folder for my entire promotion binder, and I'm specifically going to go right here into Instruction Integrated for this particular part of our discussion. So give me a moment while I open it up. Okay, I know this might seem a little bit redundant, but it's really not. In your instruction binder, you're going to have your first page for it, then you're going to have a page break, and then on the second page, you're going to give a brief summary of your physical approach to teaching within the classroom. So what is your instructional philosophy? This is separate from your actual teaching philosophy, even though a lot of the content might be the same. Just think of this one as the quick recap, short, sweet, to the point, keep it simple, focus of what your goal is within your classroom. Now, again, you'll see this is my information that's here in the yellow. You will want to change that out for yours and get rid of the highlight as well. Again, to get rid of the highlight, you just cover it and then go to the highlight and click no color and it will disappear. However, I'm going to go ahead and put it right back on so that if my folder is copied over later, you'll be able to handle that part of it. Now, pay close attention to this notes to consider that I have right here. If you have a pattern of negative comments within your course evaluations, like for example, you hear every single semester that you are not starting class on time, for example, like you're always habitually 10 minutes late, you're going to need to address those specific comments that seem to be repetitive in nature, and also explain how you have worked to overcome them. And then you're also going to need to get your dean to address these specific areas of improvement and show that you have, in fact, made an effort to improve them in either your observation that you have from your direct supervisor, or possibly in their letter of recommendation, or in a completely separate letter of recommendation from them addressing these particular needs. Okay? Then, once you've dealt with that part, here is information that you will most likely use when it comes to making changes to your promotion binder. I'm sorry, I didn't mean making changes to your promotion binder. I meant supporting yourself with your instruction. Things that you're going to want. You will want to have a sample syllabus for your classes. Again, if you teach 6 sections of the exact same class, like I teach English 101, I do not need to give an English 101 syllabus for every single English 101 class that I teach. However, if I teach English 101 and then I teach English 102 and then EDU 240, I'm going to want one from English 101, one from English 102, and one from EDU 240. Okay, so I'm going to want to provide an example of each of the ones that I give. You're also going to want to create lesson plans if you do not already have them. Possibly give us some assessments or assignments that you give out in class. Address any specific program or course improvements that you have done to help the program overall grow and become stronger here at the college. You're also going to want to have a peer observation completed for yourself, a supervisor observation, and also provide your teaching schedule and your course evaluations. Of course, this is just some of the information that we're recommending to you, but you do not have to use all of it. With that in mind, let's go back up here to the sample syllabus. So you'll see here under the sample syllabus, it says, please point out anything of special importance we should note when reviewing your syllabus. And then also, please copy and paste using our handy dandy snipping tool the appropriate documentation for this section. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write a brief introduction, a brief narrative for my syllabus for people to use when reading through the binders. First off, though, what I'm going to do is I want this academic year 2020-2021 to be all by itself. So I'm going to come here and I am going to do Control, Enter, and do a page break. Then I'm going to see the syllabus is here, and I am going to write my brief narrative. Okay, you'll see here that I have added a brief little synopsis of my syllabi for this particular, for my classes and my philosophy for my classes. And probably the most important thing that I do in my syllabi is when I look at grading, I spread out all of my grading in a way that a student cannot pass the class unless they do every single one of the primary categories, because each of 5 categories is typically 20% of their grade. But anyway, this is what I explained in my little narrative. And then after my narrative, I need to provide my sample syllabi. So you'll see here for my sample syllabus, what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually bold this so it's a little bit easier to see. And then I need to turn that into syllabi because I'm going to have multiple for them, so I'll have plural. And I might actually even bold this and make it a little bit larger, make it 16 font so it stands out a little bit more. I'll save a space, and then I'm going to pull out my syllabi. And again, we want to go in that reverse chronological order. So it'll be spring 2020, and then we will have fall 2019. And then to make those kind of stand out, I'm going to do those as bold and italics. And I'll do this one as bold and italics. And I'm going to go grab a couple of my syllabi. So give me one moment. So here is my syllabus for spring 2020 for my EDU 240 class. So I'm going to use that snippet tool again, and I need to come up with a new one. And I'm going to come here and I am going to go ahead and grab a picture of it. I'm going to come up here to edit, copy, and then I will, under the spring 2020, I'm going to paste it. And again, I'll hit enter, and I have to keep going back and forth to my particular class until I have everything. So we're back up here to the helpful resources. Again, I'm going to pull that, and we'll take helpful resources down here for this part. Again, edit and copy. I'll paste. I'm going to go back, and we're doing my assignments. So again, the snippet tool, click new. We're going to do midterm and final. We'll take this down. I'm just going to stop the picture here right above withdraw policy. Copy paste. Control V. I know this part is redundant, so I'm going to hit pause and do it without you. Okay, you're back. You'll see that I put all of my first syllabi in here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add in a little descriptor here, descripting paragraph here that will say there are a total of 3 sample spring 2020 syllabi. The first syllabus, 240. Actually, I'm going to do 201. 201. The second syllabus is for EDU 240. And the last IRW 095. This way, whoever is reading it understands the order in which that they are reading through the information. I'm going to hit a space here, and I'm going to start copying my EDU 201, and I'm going to put it here before 204. Okay, so again, how it'll look is your academic year 2019 through 2020, sample syllabi, your brief narrative, spring 2020 with a brief explanation of the 3 syllabi. Here's my first one, EDU 201, and then I get to redo all of these because I can't have that little X in them, but that was from my video recording. But I'll have this go all the way through it. And then when it's done, then you have EDU 204. And then when that one is done, I will have that IRW class following it. And then I will do the exact same thing for fall 2019. Okay, so that's kind of how that one's going to look. But what I'd like to do is I'd like to move into another section. But they all, again, work basically the same way, where you give a brief little explanation of it, then after you explain it, you provide the copies. So let's go and dig into our lesson plans. Okay, so I have my lesson plans here. I've gone ahead and I've written the brief little narrative, but I do want to make this bold, and then I do believe we took it up to size 16, if I remember correctly. Let's run up here really quick and double check what we've got here. Yep, sample syllabi, and that was 16 in bold. Okay, so we're good to go. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back down here. And here are my sample lesson plans that I will provide. So here's my narrative. And then I'm going to go ahead and hit a page break. And I will go ahead and do these. I am doing this on a separate screen, so you're not going to watch me copy and paste it, but you will see me put it right here for you. Okay, so you'll see here that I have my lesson plans. And again, I gave a brief narrative. I gave a little descriptor of how I'm showing the lesson plan from EDU 201, 240, 202, or 204, 95, and English 101. I only put the EDU 201 in here for right now. This is what it looks like. And here's my EDU 204. That's all I put in here for the moment. Again, they're really simple, just some objectives that SWAT students will be able to, the agenda, the materials, and the procedures for each of the classes. Okay, so that's pretty much it for that. And what I would do is I would continue on with my lesson plans for EDU 204, IRW 95, and English 101 for this part. Okay, but I'm going to go ahead and come here to assessments and assignments next. Okay, you'll see here that I've moved on to assessment and assignments. So I need to come here and make this bold and add in my size to 16 again. And you'll see I've written a narrative talking about my philosophy in terms of assessment assignments. And then I gave a brief explanation of what I'm providing. And I'm providing in-class activities, individual assignments, and summative assessments for individuals in the promotion committee to review. To maintain my formatting properly, I also want to do these in bold and italics, just like I did for my semesters up above. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to hit the pause button and I'm going to copy and paste some information in for you to see. So here is my write-up for the assignment assessments. Here are my in-class activities. I have many of them that I've included. Remember, I'm going up for professor, so I want to make sure I have plenty of support. So I have a philosophy group assignment. I have another assignment here, which I forgot to blow up. So let me do that. Then I move into my writing classes, so I have some work from here. Again, more writing stuff. And then this one are individual assignments, things that students do by themselves.